Hi everybody, I'm here today to talk about the Land of Venn, which is an app that is being released officially as of November 6th here. This is a great game education app from I Imagine Machine. I was very fortunate to be able to test this out with both myself, my students, and some family relatives. Land of Venn is a wonderful game education app, as I just mentioned. Now, the difference between gamification and game education is one that actually is a game that leads to education versus an education type of learning that is done in game format. So let's go into the Land of Venn. Well, as it is, no, it is from I Imagine Machine. And pretty much the purpose of this game is very simple. You live in the Land of Venn, which is a area existed of 3 different areas about these vegetables and this magic water. And of course, what happens is they are being attacked by the bookers, who are these types of creatures that are off to drink the magical water. So it seems like pretty simple kind of game here, as you're saying, because if you think about it, yes, here's the good guys, here's the bad guys, and the objective is to protect the water from the bad guys. But it works a little different when you come to that. When you hit play, you of course will be able to bring up your different game formats and everything and plan your system. So as I said, there's 3 different levels right now between the Land of Venn. There are more updates and more versions of this game coming out in the near future here, depending on the success of it. But to go right into the game here, you have your levels. Usually you're done by 10 levels. You must complete each of these 10 levels, and then of course you will go on to the actual gate and apply the lessons that you have learned so you can enter the next level. I'm going to pick one right here with level 9. So here's our one main character here, and here come the bookers. So you can do a couple things from just doing a simple touch to making geometrical shapes, which tells you as you go in too. The more complicated shapes you actually do, the more powerful your attacks are with each level. This pretty much goes on to complete each one of your levels here. It says this is the last villain. I have to point. The only thing that can make the complicated this game, depending how strong the villain is actually what you have to do to complete the level. Depending how quickly you actually format and finish each level depends on how many points you're going to get. Of course, what you can do is you can check your different levels and that through the little icon up here, which is the trophy. It shows you what your positions are and actually gives a definition. So point, a position of space. Straight line, which is the source line between 2 points. And so forth and so forth. It's really great because this really teaches students, especially higher elementary and middle school, about your different points of geometrical angles as well as lines of symmetry, which I really like in this game here because it teaches students exactly the difference between the various triangles, such as isosceles, equilateral, and of course right triangle. And of course starts moving on to more complex shapes such as quadrilateral, trapezoid, parallelogram, and of course the classic rectangle and squares. Each attack, as you learn, gets more powerful. As you progress in the game, you learn new types of geometrical shapes, which makes your attacks more powerful and makes it easier in the levels to defeat the bookers. Another thing that's great, too, is about the Wizard Lab, which is located right up here, which gives you the various power-ups like in any other level. And you can go through each one of these, from the simplest ones from fire attack, earth, water, and wind. And of course, depending on how the bad guys are in it, depends on which each one of these attacks works. More the lightning, which works on the whole ground. Same thing with your fire phoenix. Water here, which of course replenishes the magic water if you find yourself in a situation where they're starting to get lead on the water and you can't defeat them fast enough. Or the wind attacks works great on the different flying villains. Land of Venn is actually a really enjoyable game here. I highly recommend it, especially if you go, once you have finished each of the levels. Yeah, sure, students learn geometrical shapes, but then do they understand them? When they go to the gate, of course, they have to apply which each shape is being told by the Zen master.
Use your head, young master, and touch the correct shape. Straight line. What an amazing master you are! Open
one thing I like about the Land of Venn, of course, is having the ability to actually work on these different levels, and the story is actually a lot of fun.
You have defeated this first wave of Pokken Riders, but just as you've gained knowledge, so has he. And in this world, they are stronger, fast-focused your strength, your soul, and your mind. You are charged with the honor of saving us all. Are you ready, young one?
I give Land of Venn a high 4-star rating here. It's a very enjoyable game and also teaches students how to work their various geometrical shapes, not to mention actually applying that knowledge in later review for nice self-reflection. I've had students in the age ranges of 5 through 8 actually enjoy the game. I've had a couple of middle school students, including 2 of my cousins who have played the game and felt they have learned through it very well as my one cousin who actually then took the shape discovery and actually applied it, especially for parallelogram and quadrilaterals, and the difference between them to his actual class in 6th grade. So Land of Venn gets a 4 stars out of me. I highly recommend it to check it out, and I'm looking forward to what's going to come up for Imagine Games in the future with Land of Venn. And that'll do it.